If your dog steals things out of the garbage or picks up things around the house or seizes every opportunity to take food off the table or counter, today's episode is for you. Today's video is sponsored by petflow.com/ZachGeorge. Click thumbs up to keep dog training fun. Also like me on Facebook. I'll have a link in the description. And of course, subscribe. Do it right now. I've got lots of amazing videos on the way. Experience what it's like to make your life easier. Set up automatic pet food delivery at petflow.com/ZachGeorge. It's like having an unlimited fresh supply of dog food at all times without ever having to leave your house. Choose your favorite brand of dog food. They have all the good ones. And how often you want it delivered to your house. Now, if for whatever reason you decide, you know what, this isn't for me, feel free to edit or cancel at any time for any reason at all. I'll have all the details in the description. Make sure you enter code ZACH20 when you check out. You'll get 20% off of your first order. Now, let's go meet Caitlin, Sean, and their dog Sable. Caitlin, Sean, what brings you guys to New Orleans?
I'm actually from the Bay Area and Sean's from Philadelphia, but we're both Tulane students.
Oh, okay, and what are you studying?
Business.
And I'm a graduate student in neuroscience.
I got some smart people on my hands here, huh? How long have you guys had Sable for? I hear her right now. She's definitely itching to get out here, isn't she?
Yes. We've had her for a little over a year and she's a year and a half old.
And how's training been going then?
I mean, we try to be as consistent as we can, but there are definitely issues we have with her.
She loves kissing people and jumping on people, which we've really been trying to work on. And especially jumping on the counter and trying to eat all of our food.
Let's get her out here. She's so excited, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Sable, Sable. Oh my gosh. Sean, why don't you show me what you've taught Sable so far?
Sable, sit. Good girl. Take it. Sable, down. Sable, down.
Wow.
Good job. Up. And speak. Stay.
Great. And so, hey, how's it going? What's going on, girl? All right, so she's quick to break a stay if she finds a distraction, which was a little mean, but I just wanted to see how reliable stay was. It shows me what her impulse control is like. Will she stay in the face of temptation?
No impulse control.
The first step doesn't require much training at all. We just need a leash. I'm willing to guess that you can kind of predict when she's about to jump on the counter if you're sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And she's probably faster and gets to the counter anyway, right?
Just a little bit, yeah.
It's my opinion that she should probably be on leash until her counter surfing and her unwanted jumping of all kinds is under control. A leash gives you so many more options. Before we can expect Sable to stop jumping on the counter and stealing food at every opportunity, we have to make sure we can override her natural impulses. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you mind if I work with Sable for a little bit?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, come here, girl. Come here. Let's see how she does with stay when I throw a treat. Stay. That was pretty good there. She stayed with the treat. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see how she does with leave it when it's right in front of her. Leave it alone. Okay, not quite so much there. Until your dog can leave a piece of food alone when you hold it in front of them like this, you can't expect him to leave it alone when you're in the living room and she knows there's chicken pot pie on the counter or something. Her eyes say so much. That was so sweet.
This is why she gets away with all the stuff she does.
I'm hoping you can get her down stay combined with leave it looking really good until I see you again. Do you feel confident about that?
Yeah.
And for the rest of you who are having issues with teaching your dog leave it, I'll have a link in the description. And unless you're prepared to constantly burst into spontaneous training sessions, it might be a good idea to keep temptations off the counter and keep her on leash in the meantime, just for now, until she really starts to understand this concept. I'll see you guys at the next training session, okay?
See you then.
A common mistake that a lot of people make is not really controlling their dog's environment sufficiently. I know that we're all in a hurry to let our dogs off leash and have lots of freedom and really enjoy their life. But remember, dogs are very curious, intelligent, inventive animals. My advice to Caitlin and Sean is to take a step back on their training and really work with Sable on her impulse control issues. Once they get that looking a little bit better, I think we can have a lot of success on her counter surfing. I'm back to check in with Sean, Caitlin, and Sable. Let's see how they're doing. Caitlin, how has Sable been doing with her training?
She's been doing pretty well. She kind of decides when to listen and when not to listen.
The reason I had you guys practice downstay with leave it was to get her processing two things at once that she's pretty familiar with, but kind of mixing things up a little bit. Last time we used dog treats with leave it, and she did really well. This time I'm using chicken, and I'd kind of like to see how she does with downstay and leave it. Down, good, stay, leave it alone. Yes. You're amazing. Can't complain about that. That's with real chicken too. So the purpose of teaching a leave it training exercise like this is not so they'll leave everything alone you ever want them to in real life, but it's to establish some basic impulse control. Today we'll try and bridge the gap between a primary training session, that's where you're giving your dog your undivided attention, and a secondary training session where you burst into more spontaneous training drills depending on circumstance or your desire to train at that moment. When it comes to teaching your dog a real life leave it, you'll want to get quite creative with your training, because if they get used to just leave it alone with a piece of chicken, then of course they learn, okay, I leave chicken alone during this very specific instance, but they don't tend to generalize it. If you want your dog to really generalize this concept, you have to make sure that you go out of your way to show them lots of different situations that you want them to leave food alone in. With most inquisitive dogs, the more unfamiliar a thing is, the more likely they are to want to investigate it. We have this little cake here, for example. Leave it. Look how interested she is in it. Remember, this is unfamiliar. She's never seen this before. Leave it alone. Yes, good. That was a great start. This is a primary training session. I'm really putting her on notice. Leave it alone. Being very clear with my body language. She's not touching it. It's fantastic. Up here, look at me. Yes, it's very good. I'm gonna reward her with the chicken, however, so that makes this a little bit different. I'm no longer rewarding with the same stuff I'm asking her to leave. Teaching dogs in many respects comes down to really changing up variables on them like this. Leave it alone. Very good. That's wonderful. I'm very proud of you. Leave it alone. And here I'm just moving it around for good measure because things that move are a little bit more exciting. She's like, what do I have to do to get that chicken? Please tell me. And this is quite fragrant. Leave it. And that was a really good one. Leave it. Again, the closer it is, the more challenging it is. But what about more real life instances where our guard is let down or we're talking on the phone, we're a bit distracted? Yes. That's what we've got to work on next. If you have a lot of experience training dogs, you'll understand that if you're here to guard it, that most dogs are pretty intelligent and they're going to kind of put two and two together. Well, obviously I'm not going to go for that crab right there because he's right here. He's going to get it. So our next step is to start introducing a bit of distance to the equation. Yes. Magical moment right there. She very deliberately looked at the distractions right in front of her. She had full access to that food, made the choice to come over here and get her reward. I'm gonna try one more test here and make it really tough for her before we go on to the next phase. You're doing great, you know that, right? Good job, come here. If your dog did go for the items that you were leaving on the ground as you walked away, your job would be to get over there and cover those items up, and that's also your cue to take a step back on your training and make sure your dog is a little bit better about leave it with a shorter distance. I've got all of these things right here on the edge of the counter where she can easily get them. Now, if she does jump for them like that, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be prepared to lure her away. I didn't pull her off the counter, did you see that? Nope. I don't know if you caught that moment right there. She was jumping on me, she glanced over here and she looked immediately up at me. The better you can get at identifying those tiny moments of compliance, the faster your progress will be. Resist the urge, unless you absolutely have to pull your dog down. Yes, good, very good. So look at all of this stuff here. Wow, it's here, I got this. Look at this, ooh, isn't that fun? And you know, it might seem like I'm tempting her and making it really exciting, and I am, because I don't want to wait until I'm cooking dinner or having people over to train this. So right now I'm gonna walk away. You can see there's a whole bunch of food. She looks like she's about to jump, so what am I gonna do? I'm prepared to intervene, to redirect her and bring her over here. Come here, girl. At which time I'm gonna reward her. No ma'am, don't get it. Get down. No. Look at that. Fried chicken right there. I didn't have to touch her. Stick with her. Come on, girl. Come on. Yes. Excellent job. Very good. That was fantastic. I'm so proud of Sable. I think so much of the frustration that people experience during dog training comes from trying to fix things in the moment. If you'll just take 5-10 minutes to set up these types of exercises and be prepared to give your dog the training they need when moments arise in actual real life, you're gonna be way better off. If you feel like videos like this are helpful for teaching you how to teach your dog and have saved you money from not having to buy expensive DVDs or hire dog trainers, consider making a small monthly contribution to our Patreon campaign. Thank you very much to all of our current patrons that really allow us to do what we love and promote humane, positive dog training around the world. You can also make your life a lot easier by setting up automatic pet food delivery at petflow.com/ZachGeorge. I'll have all the information in the description. You're also helping the dog training revolution by doing that too. Click thumbs up for the spectacular Sable. I think she did a really good job today. Don't jump. Good job. Don't forget to like me on Facebook too. I'll have a link in the description. Sean.
Thank you very much.
Great. Caitlin.
Thank
Really
you.
awesome. Sable has done a really, really good job. I can tell you put a lot of time in with her. She's got a lot of love.
We try.